This is Dave Nassy with NextLevelGuitar.com, and today what we're going to talk about is we're going to shift gears a little bit here from one of my lessons, and we're going to talk about rhythm and blues, right? We're going to play our Stratocaster here through a clean channel, and we're going to talk about how we can incorporate some really cool rhythmical aspects into our playing, and we're going to focus on doing this really simply in the key of E minor. All right, everybody, remember, if you click on that link that you see below in the YouTube text box, for free you will get an ebook and a lesson that is not available here on YouTube. All you got to do is click on that below link that you see in the YouTube text box. One thing that I want to say, and it's really, really important to do, is to make sure that you're comfortable with all forms of your pentatonic scale, right? In this particular lesson and instruction, I'm going to go through some various shapes within those forms of the pentatonic scale, focusing on a strong rhythmical aspect that we can incorporate with our right hand and using some chords, okay? So what I like to say first, and this is a bit different in approach, cool thing about the guitar to me is the real percussive sound that you get from just muting out this sucker and manipulating some time with our right hand. In my mind, when I was growing up, I always looked at these top 3 strings as a snare, and I always looked at these 3 low strings as my kick drum. So with this kind of idea, you can kick up any kind of rhythm and insert just about any lick that you want within it. Of course, you can do various rhythms, right? Or all of these things are different and have a kind of their own attention and instruction within them, right? But we'll start really, really simple today, and we'll incorporate some of this into our playing. So, as I said, we're going to be in E minor with our pentatonic scale, and I'm going to focus initially on the 3rd shape of that pentatonic scale, and it's played just like this in E. So we're starting from our 5th position, and the shape really simply looks like this. Right? That's pretty simple. And then we're going to go from B here to D. I'm using my 1st finger and my 3rd finger. Oftentimes people will use their pinky. I'll get into that a little bit as far as choosing what fingers to use, but for all intents and purposes right now I am going to make quite a stretch here with my 1st finger to my 3rd finger, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, distance and stretch wise, on my B string. That's going to go 5 to 8, and then I'm going to have A to B. The whole scale in its entirety looks like this. Right? That little tag that I just put at the end of that. That's one thing that we're going to put into today's rhythmic example, right? So what I'm going to do first, to cap off what we just talked about, we have these 3 strings. I tend to resolve quite a bit on my E. We're in E, right? So it gives a good resolution to our lick here. Let's incorporate a simple rhythm with my right hand. Let's say I'm doing this. What I'm doing to mimic my kick drum. Really easy. Sounds kind of silly when you play it really slow, right? But think to yourself here, we're thinking snare drum and kick drum. I'm going to keep a really easy rhythm. I'm going to insert some notes from my pentatonic scale. The idea behind this is that we're going to take our licks and we're going to use these licks to incorporate meter within our playing to keep the flow of the song happening, and always giving you that trusted inner consciousness to feel like you can improvise. Remember, improvising comes from trusting everything that you've worked on and cataloged and put into your subconscious. When you apply rhythm to these ideas, that's kind of when these ideas seem to creep out, and that's the focus of this. Taking rhythm within blues and trying to see if we can draw out some of those buried in our subconscious ideas that you trust enough to improvise off of. So again, I'm very simply doing So many cool things going on in here. I have some double stops. Slight pulls and bends. Of course, a simple resolution going from my G to my E. So it gives me this. Really, really easy. Let's put a chord into the mix now, right? And we'll start simple with that chord. I'm going to play this chord here. Right? Really, really common blues chord that we like to play. You could slide in from a half step before, maybe strum it with your thumb. Right? Or you can get a different attack with it and use your pick. A different tone applied to our rhythm. Sliding up one half step. Little simple things that we can do within our rhythm. So let's take a couple lick ideas that we can put into this pattern, right? Really, really simple. We have, right? We've done that one a couple of times. You can do a little trill there and pop your low E string if you want to. But the idea, very simple. This is all first position pentatonic. Second position pentatonic is going to start here from our 3rd fret, and it's going to look just like this. I'm going to play G to A, then I'm going to go index finger to pinky, that's B to D, E to G, A to B, D to E, and G to A. Lots of licks that we can combine between these first two positions. Say you want to take this old traditional lick of, right? Really, really easy. You can mix it in with, right? Two simple ideas incorporating multiple positions of the pentatonic scale. You got to remember, when it comes to blues playing, a lot of worn out roads have been done within our first position or our traditional position. That is represented here so far in the open position. Of course, now if we're looking at that up here in our 12th position, same scale. So many cool licks have been done. These are things that should be mimicked and incorporated into all the positions of the scales, so that way you get out of position 1. That is the most common question that I ever get when it comes to playing this style, is how do I get out of the first position? Well, you take a lot of the licks that you already play there, and you figure out your other scale shapes and you move through them. So let's do that and continue to incorporate it in our rhythm. If you have this lick, well, we move it up to our higher octave. It's here. We've done, right? Variations that can just be really, really simple and moved all over the fretboard. Let's apply those two licks within this rhythm. Right? I'm going to change the rhythm a little bit. Pretty popular Hendrix style chord, right? We all know that chord. You can throw that in there, as well as little variations and subtleties. Let me show you the fingering of that chord, right? So, two really cool chords right in our position. So that lick that we have, that's going to start with our 3rd finger on B, to D, back to B, and give me a couple double stops there at the end. Let's change that up. Real popular thing, and what the British explosion happened with American blues is they would do a really nice cycle of 4. They would do variations every single time they played the lick, but they would only do it in a turnaround or a cycle of 4, and they would stay within that to apply structure within what felt like such an improvised context of playing. So I'm going to do, and then resolving on that E. lick from before. Real simple ways to apply some rhythm to our playing, and the beginning of a really cool adventure to get used to playing some of these blues licks and doing different things. Everybody, I'm Dave Nassy, and this is nextlevelguitar.com, and I appreciate you checking out this lesson. And please go to our website and check out all the video lessons that we have. That is nextlevelguitar.com. There are over 850 lessons and examples of great guitar techniques and things that you can learn in the comfort of your own home.